Okay, we'll talk on the parsha somehow, Horace. I don't have all the answers, and I'm going to give the people, whoever listens to this, give them some things to think about, which I think is a good thing. In general, at a Shabbos table, there are different ways of running a Shabbos table, but I suggest that I think I once talked about this, that the best way is that you bring up a question now and let everybody hear the question and suggest whatever they want. And that's it. It'll be a discussion. It doesn't have to be. I think the worst way to run a Shabbos table is that you say a word from a sefer, and everybody says yasher koach. It means I didn't hear one word. It's equal. It's the same yasher koach. It's like a frumkeit in Baal tsuvah houses. So. And then when you ask...
Well, Rabbi Kaplan,
what?
Just to say, there's something worse than that. Somebody will take out a sefer and read the sefer to everybody.
Oh, well, I didn't even think of that. That's really...
I've seen it, yes.
I didn't even think of that. It's so far from my way. Anyway, to take out a sefer and read from inside, that's the worst. Because people don't listen, they can't listen unless you want to give out each one a chumash. They should look at the Rashi and the chumash inside, and they should follow you. So that's a shir. A Shabbos table is a place where you enjoy together, not a shir. And this, I could go on and on about this, but we're not ain't kan mekomo. The parsha is Parshas Yisro. There's two inyonim in the parsha. One inyon is Yisro's coming, and Yisro's giving a eitz, being megayer. Second inyon is Matan Torah. Interesting is that the parsha, well, Yisro's coming, that's before Matan Torah, in the parsha Matan Torah. Now the inyon is, it seems I understood from the Rais, I can't find the exact language, but it's like breaking the power of the klipa. It's the first thing that had to happen when before Matan Torah was the pasuk in Yirmiyah says Tzaftarah Parshas B'chukosei Eilecha goyim yavo me'afsei oretz v'yamru ach sheker nochlo v'useinu hevel v'in bom moel. Yeah, first the big goy has to come. I think you could say Yisro was like the Pope. It says Lo inech avodah she'bolam shelo avda. He worshipped all the avodah in the world. So, and then he came and he said, no. And then he was moda. So that broke that strong power of the Pope, and now where the world is so to speak purified, so we can give a Torah, and the world is ready to accept the Torah. Now the Rashi brings that he had 7 names. And he was called Yeser because he was Yiter Parsha Achas B'Torah. Because he made an extra parsha in the Torah, the Eitzah that he gave. Ato Sechze Rashi brings, you should make Dayonim. So Yeser, now Yisro with a Vav. And when he was Mizgaya V'Kiyam HaMitzvahs, Rashi says, Osifulos Achas Al Shmo. He was Megaya, so they added on Yeser, he's called Yisro. Then there's a name Chovov, and then there's a name Reuel. I'm saying, so why did they add the Vov on the name Yeser? You could add the Vov on any of the other names also. And Yeser, he doesn't also even look like it's his real name, because Yeser, Hashem, that he was Yiter Parsha Achas B'Torah, but I don't know what his real name is. or maybe I don't know. But so once you add a vov, because Hosifo Sachas al Shmo, you could add it to Chovov, so you could call it Chovovo, or you could add it to Ruelo. So I said, so then I was thinking that maybe it doesn't fit so good in the other names. So my grandson said, if they would add it to the other names, so then you would say on Yisro it doesn't fit so good. So then so I don't know. But it says in the Sefer Rais millin from Rav Kook, so he says that the letter Vov is Hamshoch. I guess it says it in all the Kabbalah's form. The Vov means that there's the top, that's the higher place is the Ruchnis, and then the line comes out of the Vov, which means it goes down to this world. This hashpah of Ruchnis comes down to this world. So that's the Vov of the Shem Havaya means that the Hey above, and then the Vov makes it come down to the Hey below. So maybe that's a pshat. Yeah, Yiter Parshachas B'Torah. And then the Vov, that Parshachas, that was B'Torah, it came down to Olam Hazin. Good, that's easy things to say, but you have to think more and think deeper. I'm just giving people something to think about. It says further that they came, that Yisro came. Moshe Rabbeinu told him, Moshe all the miracles that happened to Baal and Mitzrayim, what happened on the way, Milchemes HaMolech, he told him all these things. Says Rashi, Vaysaper Moshe lechosno limshoch es libo lekarvo laTorah, to draw him closer, to be mekarvim to Torah. We would have said when we see such a pasuk, Vaysaper Moshe lechosno, he told his father-in-law. We would say, yeah, of course, people meet, so you talk about the news, talk about what's happening, that we just were freed from Egypt, and we just split the Yam, and we went through, and the Mitzrim sank. So he told them all these things. He told them, especially that in all these things lies the greatness of Hashem. So he told him. Rashi says, no. Two people meet, you don't discuss anything. There's no reason you meet. You have to talk about something. You could sit quietly, the two people together. You could say hello, and then after a while say goodbye. You don't have to talk. Only what? Limshah Slibo, the Kabbalah Torah. For that it was kedai to talk and tell all these things. I once said to Dov Zupnick, I said to him, that I read that the Kotzker Rebbe on Shabbos morning, early morning before day, he used to call in all the big Hasidim, the Gedolim, and he would talk and learning with them. So it was like surprising that you don't hear such a thing on other Rebbes. So he said, well, of course, what's he going to talk to them about the news? So although Reb Nachman Bresler did talk about the news, he used to ask his Hasidim about what's happening, and they would tell him the news. But that was also Torah. He from that he went into talking about Torah. He talked about. He brought it into Torah. Anyway, that's the Indian. But Moshe Rabbeinu talked to Yisro. He told him that. Now, it says here that Yisro gave a eitzah to Moshe Rabbeinu. First of all, he saw what's happening. The people are standing in judgment, coming to the Torahs in front of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Yisro said to him, Novel gamata gamoma. What does it mean, novel tibo? So Right. The Targum says mil o sil a. That means you'll get tired, you'll get worn out. Rashi says ketargumo. Rashi adds that the word novel means to dry out. Like it says, a pasuk ve'ha'ole novel, the leaves dried out. So it means that the word novel tibo has two meanings: to be tired, to get tired, and to dry out. And both, and Rashi doesn't make a dover acher out of it. Rashi says it goes together. The pshat is that if you're dried up, memela you become tired. If somebody's mind works, and he's seeing chidushim, new things, new insights, or even if he doesn't see, but his mind is working, so he doesn't get tired. He's much less chance to get tired.
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
This reminds me of what Rabbi Lifshitz, Chaim Lifshitz used to say.
Yeah.
He used to quote the pasuk in Mishlei all the time. Ruach ish mekakel machalei.
Oh, right, very good. That means that if you have a ruach in you, you could even be sick, but it could give you chizuk. You could hold out in the sickness. Very good. So that's saying, we're a novel people. Yisro came and he's telling Moshe, man, you're going to get tired. I'm asking a simple Balabatisha question. Moshe didn't come home at night and say, I'm tired, or I'm getting tired. This is going to tire me out. What can I do? And even further so, was he give him a make others, delegate the work for others. Very big chokhmah. Nobody else could think of that. To give it to others, sorry, I love him, so he may let others do it. Why do you have to do it? Only what Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came home at night, he didn't say, I'm tired, and he didn't say, I'm going to be tired. He felt excited. Such a psak din. New insights in human nature, new insights in Torah, Piskei Din. And Bechlal, and so maybe he didn't feel, this can tire me out. Why should I get tired of it? And yisro, you see, that Reb Tzaddik brings a strange lashon from the Zohar, that the Zohar says, millin, the chol, maybe it says, it's like words that come from an outsider, this parsha of Yisro. It became a parsha, but maybe now you can understand. Yiter parsha achas b'Torah, and other people weren't yiter parsha b'Torah. Other Mauritian made parshas in the Torah. Avraham Avinu made parshas in the Torah. Bilam made a parsha in the Torah. So why shouldn't you call Bilam Yeser because he made a parsha? Actually, it's interesting. Bilam and Yisro were together by Parah giving eitzes, but Bilam only what? Yes, sir, that a yiter parsha achas b'Torah, that a parsha that could only come from him, that you needed an outsider, like the Zohar says. What's the pshat? Reb Tzaddik says, because, and I understood from Reb Tzaddik maybe, that a yid, he wants to hear a psak from a Moshe Rabbeinu. You see, the Yid, when he comes to Din Torah and the Dvar Midbar, he was interested only in, am I going to get the money? Am I not going to get the money? Am I going to win? Am I not going to win? And am I going to have a nitzachon or not have a nitzachon? Maybe, of course, there was a yetzer in those days also. But they was more interesting for them to stand in front of Moshe Rabbeinu and hear a psak din from him. Reb Hutner said that a shvur, what you learn in the Gemara about a shvur and Modu B'Miktzah, shvur shvur Hashem, the pshat is it's an avodas Hashem of taking a shvur. It's the avodah, he calls it the avodas Hashem of the shuk. The avodas Hashem you do when you do business in the shuk. It's not just a way of proving who's right. And Torah said if he thinks this way, he must be his right. That's true. But it's much more. It's a way of being Oved Hashem in the business, in the shuk. So I'm saying, in that time, there was an avodas Hashem of standing and being done in front of Moshe Rabbeinu and hearing the psak from him. To hear a psak from Moshe Rabbeinu, that probably gave a person a certain inspiration of making the whole Olam Hazeh a tool to be Oved Hashem with it. You won this money. The purpose of winning this money is to worship Hashem with this money. They felt that. So hearing a psak din from Moshe Rabbeinu has a special kook. Whoever thought of going to somebody else? An outsider says, yeah, but it's also important to have, each one should get what he deserves to have in money, and you need a seder, you need order, and maybe you will get tired. You're human. Moshe Rabbeinu is human. Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't know that he was human. Maybe he was mechetzi u'lamala elokim, yisro elokim yishkon. Those are brachos Shebrach Moshe, yisro elokim. But an outsider did think it could happen. And you needed the outsider to be yiter parsha achos b'Torah, dafka because he's outside. Was he able to be yiter parsha? He had that koach to be miyaser parsha achos b'Torah. Now says Rabbunim Mipshischa said that in the end of this inyan it says, Vaishalach Moshe Chosno, Vayelech lo el artzo, he sent them away, and he went back to his country. So said Rabbunim Moshe Rabbeinu said to him, you gave a good answer this time, but from now on don't mix in my business. I'm doing it. I understand what the Klal Yisrael. This time you were mechaven, but don't think that you're gonna become an advisor over here to us. Stuff, you're a ger and you can't don't give ages. So my grandson just said to me, well, was that nice to talk to your father-in-law like that? I think, first of all, you didn't say it in a not nice way, of course. But the pshat is that Moshe Rabbeinu was saying to Yisro, in this inyan, you're my team to give aces. Dafka, in this, you're good at you. We need you in this. Because we're so spiritual and so high, and the Klais are so high that even when they're dealing with money matters, they need a Moshe Rabbeinu to hear it from the Rebbe. So we need you to give H's in this union. But don't think that you're capable of giving H's in other inyanim also like this. You see, sometimes it happens that people that they don't know, they start mixing in and saying days and things in Yiddishkeit in Alter, and I can't think of now of any age. But I do know there was once a Maisa that there was somebody in a certain neighborhood that he was sort of put in cherem, he was chashid and being a pedophile. And this person had a jewelry store, so after then was that he was put into jail. And the wife of this person was running the business, the jewelry store. So she advertised. So calls up somebody and says, we don't want you advertising, we don't want you to have a store. We don't want to see your name in the alonim, in the neighborhood, or in the advertisements of the neighborhood. We don't want to see. So she said, why? Or not? Because your husband did this and this and this, and he was put in jail. We don't want to see your name around. So I'm asking Akash. The Gemara says that the nirdaf is allowed to kill. You're allowed to kill a rodif, and the nirdaf kolshkin is allowed. And if the nirdaf was mazik, he tore his clothes of the rodif. So potter from pain. What does that have to do? Either you kill him or you don't kill him. But where do you get a heter to be mazik him? Where it says, that's why he's potter on the money also. I'm saying, so you, this person that said she's not allowed to advertise, so this person was machadish achidush, that not only are you allowed to damage the money of the rodef, but you're also allowed to damage the money of his wife and children. She shouldn't make bernos. Where's all that coming? I don't know where it comes from, but I suspect, because that person years back, he's about tsuvah. They don't understand. You could be the worst of somebody. Hey, what's that have to do with his wife and children? What's that have to do one with the other? Why can't his wife do business, take over his business, let's say? Yeah, let's say it's his business. You see that's by Yeshua. That's what I think. By Shalach Moshe's Chosna, he said to him, in this you're good in giving aids, but then from now on, I understand how you run a klal yisro. It says further in the parsha that the first thing Moshe Rabbeinu said when they came to Midbar Sinai was, Hashem told Moshe to tell them that you see what I did for you, and I carried you on Kanfei Neshorim, I brought you back to me. And now he says, V'im Shama Tishmu B'Koli Yishmatim Es you'll keep the Torah. V'yisem Li Segula Mikol Amim. Segula means a precious stone. You'll be the most precious of all the nations. And then it says, Eila Advarim, you should talk to the Jewish people. It says, Rashi Eila Advarim, Lo Pachos V'Lo Yosher. You should say exactly these words. Don't add and don't subtract. So the kotzker Rebbe said, what's a pshat? Why lo pachos lo yosher? So he says like this, because he said to them, Im shama tishmu, if you'll listen to what I say, then you'll become a segula mikol amim. And it mashma, if you won't listen, you won't be a segula mikol amim. But there's a halacha of Tanai Kofu. You have to say both sides. And he didn't say both sides. You have to be, what'll be if you will keep the Torah. And you have to also say the other side. If you won't keep the Torah, but he only said one side, so the Tanai is not mekuyim like the Dinei Tanai. So the Tanai doesn't work. What's a Tanai mean? You won't keep the condition of keeping the Torah. It's going to break your skula. You break this with your skula. But here you didn't do the second side, the Tanai Kofu. So it doesn't break the recently skula. So you'll stay as skula mikolamim. Even if you don't keep the Torah, you'll be better than all the nations. And that's what the pasuk says, like Pachos V'Lo Yosher, don't add anything. Don't say the second side. They'll stay a skula even if they don't keep the Torah. And that's the shita of who? Rameir, maybe Benkach in Kiddushin Lamed Vov, maybe Benkach Kruyim Bonim. Whether the Osim Ritzonu Shal Makom or whether not, Kai is always called Bonim. That's what the kotzker said. But you have to understand, you can't just say a good word and leave it at that and smile and be happy and say Asher Kach. You have to think. You have to be a Shomer Moshe. What is it? What does he say? So the Maisa doesn't really work. So what did Hashem say? Im shama tishmu b'kol, you'll become a segula. So what's he saying? If you won't listen b'kol, you'll also be a segula. And what? So it's Levat Torah, this whole pasuk comes out. It doesn't really mean that like secretly we know. Hashem said you'll be a segula mikol amim. But don't really take it, chas v'shalom, it sounds like that. Don't take it so seriously. You'll be a segula mikol amim anyway. I don't know. I want everybody to think about this and discuss it on the Shabbos table and think, and maybe you'll find a way to explain it. But maybe you could say, very simple, that the Im Shema, the Tanai of Shema Tishmu is in the beginning. You want to be a scholar right now, be Mekabel now. Later on, once you're Mekabel and you became a scholar, so then later you can't break it anymore. Once it's Chal, so you can't break that anymore. Maybe that's what it means. But I'm giving you something to think about. One more thing. Today I went to a Chumash shir from Reb Dov Zupnick. He gives a shir in Sochatov once a week. So he said like this.
How many people come?
Like 4. Nah, there are more people there in the shul, but who listens? Like around 4 people. Sochatov Rebbe and his chavrus.
Who, Hyman?
Nah, somebody else. And another one, and then me, and maybe another person, and a couple lovers, and maybe. So he said like this. It says in the end of the parsha, Atem reisem, ki min hashamayim diberti imochem. You saw that I talked min hashamayim. I mean, what's a chiddush? Pshita, we know that Hashem talked min hashamayim. So he said like this, that you, let's take what's the next part. You shouldn't make a like chesev elei zov lo sas. Means like this, there's kruvim, and it's a demus odom, and you should make it exactly the way I told you. Don't make it of silver because it's supposed to be zov, and don't add more than 2. And so he says that's already like a bizrayo of avodah zarah in a way. Then he says you shouldn't losanev halem barzel on the mizbeach. That's like a bizrayo of retzicha, because barzel is made to kill. And then below salam malas hamizbeach shelo sigol arvos chalov, it's a bizrayo of gilei Rais. I don't mean mamish a bizrayo of Mesiras Nefesh, but it's like a meyain de meyain. It has in it a slight element of these 3 averes. So he says like this. Do you understand such a thing that you walk and you go up steps? It's a slight zeicher, far out zeicher of gilui erba. You shouldn't do that. But if somebody's delicate and sensitive, he feels these things. So that's what he says. Atem reisem ki min hashomayim diberti imochem. Don't take the Asher Sadibris and the Dini Ater as Gashmiistic laws. Look at it with a Shomayim Dika look. Know that in the Shomayim and Ruchni is every little delicate zecher to bigger, worse things is also not good. So look at it that way. Then you understand that you can't make a leiches v'leizov. You think that you're doing a mitzvah, you're making horn and kruvim, and so you'll do it your way. You'll decide your own way how to do it. Kasef, maybe instead of 2, you'll make 4, and then that's avodah zarah. You think you could do it your way. Doing it your way, that's already avodah zarah. We have to be bottled to the Torah. That's why there are certain people that they talk in terms of solving the problems that halacha causes us. Like, for example, in Aguna, her husband became a tzemach, he became a vegetable, he was shot, and so he can't give a get. His mind's not working, but he's still considered alive, because she's an Aguna. We have to solve the problem. So some rabbi made up a heter of being mezaka, a get, and but the other Gedolim said it's sheker, there's no such thing, you can't do it, it doesn't work. But this comes from the approach that Yiddishkeit is something that makes problems for us, and we have to solve them. No, we don't have to solve anything. We have to look for a heter, looking for a heter. But solving a problem that we're not doing, we're doing Ratzon Hashem. Ratzon Hashem is we should suffer. So we have to suffer. Yeah. If Ratzon Hashem is to suffer, you have to suffer. If being an aguna means suffering, you have to suffer for Hashem's sake. And then tell me that that's not Jewish. The wanting to suffer is not the Jewish way. It's not the Jewish way to go looking for suffering. But once you see that you have to, that the halacha, there's no way out. So you have to suffer for the sake of the Torah. We don't do what we want. We don't shape the Torah the way we have to shape it, the way we want to shape it. That's it. Min hashomayim dibarti mochem. That's what Dov Zupnick said. I look at it as if it's min hashomayim, and understand it's not something you can meddle with. And that's a mistake a lot of people don't understand. Hashem is telling us, don't make that mistake. That's what I have to say on today's parasha. I hope it'll be a toelis for the listeners. I hope it'll get people thinking. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Thank you very much, Rabbi Kaplan.